हाय अविनेश, वेलकम टू फिल्म बीट। फर्स्टली कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस, लाइक शो काफी अच्छा कर रहा है, बात को तो फैंस काफी पसंद कर रहे हैं। क्या कुछ कहना चाहोगे जब इतना प्यार मिलता है और आफ्टर अ ब्रेक लाइक सरबजीत के बाद डायरेक्टली दिस एंड इसको भी फैन उतना ही प्यार कर रहे हैं, क्या कुछ कहना चाहोगे? हाउ डज इट फील?
Well, first of all, thank you so much मुझे यहाँ बुलाने के लिए इंटरव्यू पे एंड एज फॉर द शो इज कंसर्न थैंक यू सो मच। आप इतनी विशेष दी हैं आपने शो के बारे में और बाबा जी की मेहर से और ऑडियंस की दुआ से हमारा शो अच्छा चल रहा है बिकॉज इट्स ओनली देम विच मेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस। हमारे शो में ऑडियंस जितना ज़्यादा देखेंगी, जितना ज़्यादा स्टोरी को पसंद करेंगी, जितना ज़्यादा हमें पसंद करेंगी, उतना ही हमारा शो चलेगा, उतना ही हम चलेंगे। एंड आई एम सो fortunate for this fact that after Choti Satani I got to do this show, which is a very very different one. मेरी वर्सेटैलिटी का एक और पन्ना ऐड हो गया है एंड दिस शो हैज गिवन मी अ लॉट। तेरे बिना जिया जाए ना, फर्स्टली it's given me a versatile role of a Rajkumar, a blue-blooded prince who's from Ambikapur, who hails from Ambikapur, and who's a principle-oriented person, an idealistic husband. ये सारा कुछ मुझे शो में करने को मिला and on top of that, the best part about this show at present for me was the double role which I was about to do, and I have just loved doing that.
एग्जैक्टली एंड वेल, जिस तरीके से अगर मैं कंपेयर करूँ आपके पिछले शो और ये शो को, तो ऑनेस्टली अगर आपने कौन सा शो ज्यादा एंजॉय किया, टॉकिंग अबाउट जहाँ पे आप सरब थे एंड मेहर थी, वो जोड़ी को ज्यादा प्यार किया था या लोगों ने आपकी और अंजलि की इस केमिस्ट्री को ज्यादा प्यार मिला है? एंड आपके दिल के करीब दोनों में से कौन सा शो है?
Well, I can never, they both are very dear to me. Obviously, they are my shows और दोनों मेरे characters हैं. So दोनों मेरे लिए बहुत important हैं and they are very very close to my heart. As far as audience is concerned, so वो जो feedbacks हैं वो तो audience के ही हैं and I should just let that thing decide by the audience only. मैं खुद ने decide करूँगा कि उनको कौन सी जोड़ी ज़्यादा अच्छी लगती है, मेरी मेहर की या मेरी कृषा की या मेरी अंजलि की. So, but on a very honest note, every time when you do a show, when the show wraps up, before that you have to get detached. आपको वो detachment चाहिए होती है. अगर आप एक character से detach नहीं होते हो तो आप दूसरे character से attach नहीं हो पाते हो. अगर अभी भी मैं सरब से बहुत ज़्यादा attach रहता तो फिर देवराज से attach होना मेरे लिए बहुत ज़्यादा difficult हो जाता है. So I always make sure that at the end of the show or end of my project, I just keep detaching myself.
तो मैं आपसे यही जानना चाह रही थी, टॉकिंग अबाउट द डिटैचमेंट, एक कैरेक्टर से निकल के दूसरे कैरेक्टर में जाना वो कितना डिफिकल्ट होता है, एंड बीइंग रियल लाइफ भी आप उसमें प्ले करते हो एंड देन एक शो खत्म से नेक्स्ट शो जाना, वो पूरा प्रोसेस कितना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो जाता है फॉर लाइक यू?
See, first of all, for me as an individual, as an actor, the whole process about this filmmaking, the whole process about, the shooting process, I am totally, in awe of it. मुझे सबसे अच्छी चीज़ वही लगती है, the whole process, how it starts, how to come to the set, when you go for your reading, you do your makeup, you start reading your script, you go over there, you spend time with your co-actors, you start reading, you start making the whole scenario, you start choreographing the scene with the director. So it's a very, thought-provoking and a thought-involving process. So first of all, मुझे वही बहुत अच्छा लगता है, and at the end of the day, when you come out from the shoot and when you go home, at that point of time, you have to switch off from your character and be yourself and go back home. So first of all, that practice takes a lot of time. And fortunately for me, it's been a lot of years I have spent in the industry. And fortunately, I was able to, cope up with that. कि वो जो switch off, switch on वाला process है ना, वो पता लग जाए. तो वो switch off हो जाता है. But detaching yourself from a character takes a lot of time. It just remains within you until and unless you start, preparing for the next character. उसके लिए prepare करते हो, अपने आप को prep करते हो, अपनी body language सुधारते हो, फिर अपनी theoretical language सुधारते हो. You psychologically, you maintain yourself very well for that specific character. उसके बाद जाके आपकी detachment होती है and the attachment comes from the other character. So it's a process and I love that. But उसमें time लगता है.
Right. एंड वेल दैट्स अमेजिंग. कमिंग बैक टू यू अंजलि, क्या कुछ कहना चाहोगे शो जो है इसके बारे में, कितना प्यार मिलता है और फाइनली जिस तरीके से शो स्टार्ट हुआ था अभी ये एक अलग ही हाइप मिलती है, लोग इसे काफी एक्सपेक्ट किया था आपने?
I couldn't hear the last bit of your sentence because your voice is cracking out.
Yes, I was asking कि क्या आपने एक्सपेक्ट किया था like fans इतना प्यार करेंगे in the start when the show was started and now coming to this point?
Actually, it's a little weird to say, but हाँ, kind of expect किया था because I remember द वेरी फर्स्ट पिक्चर जो हम लोगों ने डाली थी, इवन बिफोर लोगों को कुछ भी शो के बारे में पता था और द स्लाइटेस्ट ऑफ नॉलेज दैट दे हैव हैड अबाउट द शो, तो द वेरी फर्स्ट इमेज जो हमने डाला था उसमें ही इतना प्यार मिल गया था कृष और देवराज को. सो आई वॉज काइंड ऑफ एक्सपेक्टिंग एंड वही हुआ है. ऑडियंस ने एक्चुअली इतना ज़्यादा प्यार दिया है कृषा को, देविशा को. आई मीन इट्स बीन अमेजिंग, लाइक राइट फ्रॉम डे वन बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा प्यार मिला है. द endless amount of edits जो ये लोग रोज बनाते हैं about Krisha's character, about the show, about every other character too. I think yes, तो उतना शो मिला है and I was kind of expecting it.
Since we know कोई भी शो आता है या आप कोई कैरेक्टर प्ले करते हो या कोई स्क्रिप्ट साइन करते हो तो काफी बड़ा बैगेज आता है अबाउट द TRPs बिकॉज टेलीविजन इज ऑल अबाउट हायर TRP. एंड आजकल शो जिस तरीके से बंद हो रहा है ड्यूरिंग कोविड या फिर आफ्टर कोविड भी बात करूँ तो वो कितना चैलेंजिंग लगता है बिकॉज यू हैव टू गिव योर बेस्ट एंड दैट टू अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट हो एंड साथ में उतना मजा भी आए विद द एंटरटेनिंग एंड गेटिंग द हाईएस्ट TRP. सो हाउ डू यू गाइस सी दिस TRP का पूरा एंटायर गेम?
Well, honestly, speaking about myself, I would say that TRP and all those numbers are not our concern. It should not be an actor's concern. It is always the channel or the producers. But we as an actor, what we can do is we can just give our best on our performances. That's the the most restrictive thing for us. We can restrict ourselves towards the performance and giving our best for that. And rest, it all depends upon the audience. It all depends upon people whoever are watching it intently. But nowadays there's a huge fight because everything is coming on TV also, as well as everything is coming on a digital platform also. So there's a divide. So that divide is the main concern, and that concern is obviously handled by either the channel or the broadcasters. So that is not our pressure. Our pressure is only it comes towards the script and the performance. That is the best what we can do as an actor. That's what I understand.
Anjali, what you have to say? Because usually हम देखते हैं कोई शो बंद हो जाता है तो एक्टर्स के ऊपर ही सारा ब्लेम डाल देते हैं. तो आपको क्या कहना है कि
That's because we are the face of the show.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
I am going to be like really blunt right now because I have had like some shows that I've had an amazing audience and the show didn't have numbers. Like I would talk about my very first show here. We didn't really have, like obviously we started off great, but of course the TRP wasn't great. But if I talk about how much the audience loved the show, how much of the audience connected with my character and my show, I think as an actor that would be my biggest concern, whether the audience is connecting to my character or not, irrespective of the numbers or not. Like I had people from even the Bollywood background, tweeting about the show, messaging about the show. So even if the show didn't do great in numbers, the kind of buzz it created all around, and like everybody knew about that show. Of course, people watch it either on the app because people do not really have time to watch TV. Honestly, like I said, I'm going to be blunt about it. They do watch it in other platforms, so that is where the TRP I think goes for a toss. But for me as an actor, I think content is what has always been the priority and not the TRP. Like even Avinesh said, that's not our concern. We are here to just work and this is what makes us happy. Hence, I think we do it for our sake. TRP shouldn't be an actor's concern, yes.
Exactly, and there are also rumors जहाँ पे कह रहे हैं कि 5th August is the last day of तेरे बिना जिया जाए ना. तो इसमें कितनी सच्चाई है, क्या वाकई it's going off है? And क्या कुछ कहना चाहोगे जब भी एक शो इतनी जल्दी स्टार्ट होता है, इतनी जल्दी खत्म भी हो जाता है? So how you guys feel? What do you have to say on that?
I think there was a rumor, like you said, it's a rumor. I also saw the rumor in one of the social media sites. So it's a rumor to me also right now. I asked about it, but I don't think so. We are, ending the show on the 5th of August. But at the same time, even though every show has a life to it, every story has a life to it. So if we'll just develop out and, think about it so many times that, okay, it's going to end, it's going to end. So that will be a very, harsh thing towards our, towards the story and towards the show and the project which we are doing. Because if that one thought also comes to your mind, then you start, lazing yourself. You start lazing yourself, and then you are in that, disappointed zone. And then I think an actor should not even know whether the show is going off air or not. Because at the end of the day, that disappointment should not come. So for me, I think this is a main basic concern. But ending the show or going it haywire is okay because you have to accept it. Whether it'll run for 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. And as far as our show is concerned, it was always a very limited show. It was never supposed to be a very, high on, a full fledged total daily soap. It was supposed to be an infinite series in the initial bit only. And I think we have furthered it up a little more than what it was supposed to be. And the story was stretched in little in between. And now it's come to that part where we are, coming up towards the not the end, I would say, but coming up towards the main the main basic crux of the story. So as far as the rumor is concerned of the show being end on the 5th of August, that's a false news.
Anjali, what you have to say, because as per us we know, हमने देखा था कि in an exclusive interview आपने ये डेट बताया था. You only said कि saying this goodbye.
Wow, I like how. Oh, great.
So ask her.
I was hoping it doesn't come on me now. You've been pretty straightforward with that. So, see, yeah, you're right. It was supposed to be a rumor, and then I kind of said it, and now I take my words back. It's not happening. But as far as the show going off, like you said, show शुरू होता है जल्दी खत्म हो जाता है. Don't you think it's better to kind of maintain the quality of the show rather than stretching it for like years and not maintaining the quality of it? Like I've been very happy. Like my first show ran for like again a year or so, but the show was intact. Like right from the very first day, the love that we got, the concept, the story, the acting. The entire crew basically, how we were on the first day of the show, we were exactly like that on this last day of the show because we never repeated anything. There was no repetition of
We
scenes,
haven't
there
had
was
a
no
last year of
repetition
the
of
show as
story.
yet.
So yeah, so I feel like it's better. And honestly, like if I talk about myself personally, I don't see myself doing a show for like more than a year and a half or so. Definitely, I'd rather explore different characters. I'd rather explore different shows than doing one show for like so many years. Definitely, yeah.